Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the most must-see podcast here in the NJSSL. Welcome to the Cutting Redge. We are here live with the only analyst that should ever exist in the NJSSL for drafting purposes, to give you all the mock draft, the post-draft, all the draft-related analysis. He is the one and only Haider Abbas. Assalamu alaikum, Haider. How are you doing?
Welcome, Aslam Raj. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's great to have you back on the pod. I like the fresh cut, the
Thank
fresh,
you. Thank you.
lack of, you just look very clean.
Thank you. MJF, man. Always hooked it up.
MJF is a key guy. For those of you that don't know, Mehdi the Barber, 24. He is your confident clientele. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him at the barbershop. He's the man to go to for that fresh cut. Meanwhile, Heather, we had the NJSSL football draft this past weekend. How did it go in your opinion overall?
Well, unfortunately I wasn't able to attend, but I was at work. But I was keeping up with it online. From what I heard, it went well. I think a lot of questionable draft picks were made. But yeah, let's get into it. I think overall it went good.
All right. Well, let's yeah, we can definitely review it. I'm just pulling up the teams on my end, and then I will. I'll kind of go down what I have as my ranking from team number six, or most
Mhm.
likely to end up team number six overall to the top team. And I'll tell you basically my overview as I was kind of looking through the draft is that at first it seemed like it was pretty obvious who I actually thought was going to win. But then as I kept looking at the guys and the players on each team, top to bottom, it actually is relatively even for the most part, minus a couple of teams potentially with just a couple of hiccups that they might have. So I will say, and I could be totally wrong about this team coming in last, but what I have as the number six team is Advanced Dental, which is Nahi Abbas's team. My general thought on this team was that they have a decent line, but like at best decent. And you know me, like I've always advocated that the strongest line is always going to win the championship. And I'm just going to advocate that this season too, which is kind of how I determine this. But they have a decent line at best. With I think their linemen really are they have Dubs, Mehdi Rusvi is a solid lineman. They have On Merchant sometimes plays center. And then they got Abdi, which is not really that reliable. They got Haider Abbas, and they've got Murtaza Zaidi. It's a reliable combo there. And then maybe Zakir Bayani and Officer Elias Gurali to kind of round out the line. I would say they also have the least confident QB option. Because I feel like Adil's probably going to have to play QB, and just compared to the other potential QBs on all these teams, he's probably the least confident amongst them because it's just not a typical position for him. He's capable of doing it, but like I don't know if he's going to have the line to give him the success. And we'll just kind of have to see what happens. The two things I think that they do have is a strong IQ on this team and a strong run game and lots of athletes. So just to kind of go through the rest of the team, you've got Nahi Abbas, the captain, Hassan Rizvi of the Patriots last season. You got Mehdi Joffrey, always a dangerous man. He's a defending champion. Abbas Nathani. You got Dubs. You got Adil. You got On Merchant. Ali Akbar Abadi. I don't know how he got drafted so high. Go figure. Alamdar Megni, which I believe he was a basketball guy. We'll see what his
Yeah.
football. He's new to football this year. Haider Bhai, Haider Nakvi, Murtaza Zaidi, Abir Joffrey, also picked very high for Abir, but not that's a bad thing. We got Hamza Merchant, who's new to football, Mudassir Zaidi, who's new to football, Zakir Bayani, who I thought was better, but it's been a few seasons since we've seen him. We got Officer Ali Azrali, and then we got Said Akbar Abbas Zaidi. Heather, what is your thought on this team?
I said this to Naki. He might have drafted the worst team in the history of all of NJS. So I don't know. I said it in the draft preview. He should have picked Mehdi and Shaw in the back to back. I don't know why he didn't. He's. I'm sorry. Adil is a good player. He's a good athlete, but he's not a quarterback. I personally think Qasim would be a better option at quarterback, but I don't think he wants to play quarterback. I don't see this team scoring more than maybe one or two, maybe 10 points a game at most. I think this is. I think Nucky made a huge mistake. If he just replaced Gossam with Shaw, I think this team would be much better. I think their line could be an issue, but I think it's more of a quarterback issue than it is than anything else.
I was gonna say I don't see Qasim having a breakout year, especially as like a first round pick without a top quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that really they're gonna have to rely on the run game with MJF and
Mhm.
Nathani to kind of supply the offense here. But we'll see. I mean, it could be a rough season, but the thing is they do have Dubs. Dubs is now is a 2 time in a row champion
Mhm.
here. And so he definitely can lead the team to success. But we'll have to see what happens. Let's move on to the next team. The next one I got, and kind of it just basically gets a lot tougher from here. Because initially, when I looked at this team, I actually had them as the number one team overall, but now I have them as the number five team overall, and that's the Motherland actually, which is Nabil Zaidi's team. And so that team is made up of Nabil Zaidi, Farhan Ehsan, Ali Shah, Adi Shah, Haider Abbas yourself, Faizan Razi, Mosid, Mustafa Hassan, Iman Sheikh, who's new, I believe, Irfan Zaidi, Thorab Ghazim, all new guys of football for the most part. Zaire Rizvi, Adnan Riaz, Arham Shah, Mikhail Rizvi, Imran Zaidi, Asad Jafri, and Zain Ahmad. Um, and so this team, the notes I kind of have on them is that they do have to have a pretty decent line. Pretty it's still not the like amongst the better lines. I don't think. Nabil hasn't obviously there's Nabil himself, and then there's Faizan. Mo Sid, I guess, is going to be the third guy, I imagine. And then I'm not sure after that, like, there's no, like, dominant lineman. I guess you got Asad Joffrey, you got Imran Zaidi, and Zain Ahmad. Zain Ahmad was the ZJ killer last year, if I do recall.
He actually,
So,
Zayn has been traded away from our team. I don't know if
oh,
that
okay.
was,
So I don't
yeah,
have the
yeah,
updated rosters.
yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if he was replaced by anybody that's a lineman or any better, but either way, he was the last guy. So I mean, I don't know how much you can rely on that line, but it's decent, I would say. They do obviously have excellent athletes, right? You got Shah, you got yourself, you've got Farhan, Adi, all excellent guys. They definitely have potential on the bench. Again, like between Irfan, Thorab, Zaire, like Imran Zaidi, like there's a lot of guys on the bench that could play well. The big question I have is like, will a lot of these guys gel together, right? I think that'll be a kind of key question going to this team: is will they have the chemistry needed to get wins? And I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I just don't know if they will. I think they have definitely a realistic possibility to, but I don't know. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Um, my thoughts are for Han and Shah. I don't know how. I mean, I know how Nucky let that happen, but I mean, you're looking at an MVP in Farhan. He's been to the finals twice. Shah's won twice. He's an O-poi. He's a D-poi. We have a rookie of the year in Mus. We have a defensive player of the year in me. Nabil's always in the top leading sacks, like all around. And we have a few secret weapons that you guys are among the new players on our teams that you guys will find out about. Honestly, I think we have the best team. I have us at one. I usually don't put my team at one, but Farhan, Shah, me, Adi, Razi, Siddiqui, Mus, like I don't I think Mustafa fell too far. I think Siddiqui fell too far. Obviously I fell because of schedule issues. I'm probably missing the whole month of September.
I was gonna say, will
But
attendance be an issue for your team?
really I'm the only one missing games to be honest. So
What about Shah?
Shah's gonna work things out. He'll work
All
things
right,
out.
he'll
I
find a
can't
way to
because
make
of
it.
work. For me, it's tough because of work, but Shah will work things out. But yeah, I mean, I just named off this. Adi's a two-time champion. Like I just named so many accolades on this team. Like Razi was a defensive player of the year in the Turkey Bowl a few years ago. Like I don't know what else you want me to say. This team is stacked with accomplished guys. So yeah, I think we're the number one team. And with either whether Farhan's playing QB or Shah's playing QB, even if our line isn't one of the best like you're projecting it to be, they're
Hmm.
athletes. They don't need the best line. They need a just enough to get that play going. But I think we're the
That's fair.
best team.
That's fair. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Indeed, there's it's definitely very hard to root against the combination of Sean and Farhan. So we'll have to see what happens as the team goes on, as the season goes on. The one thing we do know is that Shaq couldn't get the job done last year on the Patriots, and Farhan, I actually don't even remember what team he was on
He
last year.
did not play last year because of the shoulder injury.
Oh, of course, and then of course, you got to consider that too, the injury risk. But we'll see what happens, one step at a time. Number four team that I have, again, this team I actually think has very high potential. Like, definitely could be on paper the best team, but I think they do have a risk of implosion. That kind of limits them from being the best team. And a few other things that we'll talk about. But it's actually Shazan's team, My Fin Journey. That's going to be Shazan Khan. Let's see, where are you, Shazan here? Shazan Khan. Where's the rest of your team, Shazan? There it is. Shazan Khan, Wali Mirza, Yafa, Shabib Bhai, Irtaza, aka Jack Irtaza, Hamza Abedi, Professor, Mehdi Raza, who's new to football this year, Faisal Ali, Ali Abbas Kareem, also new to football, Abbas Razvi, aka AB, Hussein and Hassan, Shabib Bhai's sons, Ali Akbar Jafri, Fardeen Mehdi, Raza Rizvi, and Akbar Amjad Jafri. Um, I guess the biggest thing I had for this team is, again, like, they have, with that combination of guys, definitely between Shabib Bhai and Irtza, along with AB and even Professor, if you put him at center, it's a pretty strong line. You've got Yafa, Vali, Hamza is an excellent, and I think Mehdi Reza could definitely have a lot of hope. Excellent, potential. The biggest thing that I think I have that's gonna keep these guys from winning well is that kind of after after Faisal, the talent kind of dies down quite a bit. Like, it's mostly a bunch of lineman guys, which I don't know how much those lineman guys are going to play when they have three strong linemen ahead of them, anyways. So I don't know how well their bench is really going to be able to, like. It might be a non-factor of a bench, whereas most of these other teams have more guys that they can kind of sub in and out and use that to their advantage. But the one thing that this team has, is, as always, is Vali Mirza. He's the current defending captain champion. So we'll see what he's going to be able to do. What do you have on this team, Heather?
I actually have this as a second best team because
Mm,
I think, I mean, yeah, they don't have much depth, but I do think they have a good all around team from. Because I also think they have one of the best lines. They have Shabibhai, they have Jack Irtaza, they have Prof, and they have AB. So I think they have one of the better lines, a big, strong line. I
mm-hmm.
think Wali is the one person that can keep Shazan calm. I think Shazan could have a breakout year, and I'm projecting that he will. And I think that I'm really hoping Hamza comes back strong because Hamza was having a very good year with the Giants before his injury. And I'm rooting for Hamza because I know he gets a lot of hate by people sometimes. But I think Shazan drafted well. But yes, depth could definitely be an issue for them. But I think Wali is going to be the one to lead this team like he did with the Falcons. And I think his play style for full field, I think, has an advantage over a lot of people. I think he knows how to exploit his speed and quickness on both ends of the ball. I think it will show again. I think Shazan is gonna have a breakout year at QB.
I think so. I think this is definitely the season to do it. Um, but we do know that when Shazan and Hamza have teamed together in the past, it has not worked out well. So we'll see what happens here. All right, number three team that I have is going to be Team SNS, which is Zuhaib Mumtaz's team. So this is going to be Zuhaib, Hussein Abedi, Razan Merchant, Zan Mumtaz, AKZM, Ramez, Zunair Rizvi, Ayan Hussein, Asad Merchant, Asad Bukhari, Saif Zaidi, Qasim Hussein, Ali Javad Versi, Zaman Kazmi, Shiraz Rizvi, who's new to the league. Excited to see him play. MMA, Muhammad Murza Amir, Sayed Jalal Zaidi, Kazim Jaffrey, and Ali Raza Aftab. So for this team, I think the big thing that I do like about them is that they kind of like Cowboys 2.0. Like a lot of these guys were on that Cowboys team, and they kind of designed it very similarly too. Except they've stepped up. I think their line for sure with Razan Merchant and Miz. Um, I think that they have one of the more solid lines between those two guys, and then also throwing in Zaman Kazmi like the 10 spot. Murtaza Amir is another solid guy too. I probably Ali Razafdal will be on that line. It's not. I mean, I don't think it's as good as the line for Shazan's team. And honestly, maybe I should have switched them. The reason I didn't switch them is because one, they're Cowboys 2.0, and two, because probably have the best QB receiving options. Right? You figure that ZM has going to play the QB role. Then you have Hussein Abdi, Zunair, and Asad Bukhari all at your receiver options. I think that's all excellent. And then you have easy drop offs with Ayan, with who's the other guy? Zaman Kazmi. He was a tight end last year. You got AJV. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of drop it off to like a run play or like a quick pass. So that's kind of where I have them at number 3. I think the biggest thing, yeah, I mean, I think that's really what it is. What do you have on this team?
So I literally just looked at the teams again now and actually switched. I had them originally at 4, but I dropped them down to 5 because I don't think they have the. I think their O line is a very big weakness. I think I think they have a good D line with Merchant and Miz, but I question that O line outside of Reza Merchant. I mean, Reza Merchant's gonna play center. Most of the guys, edge rushers, are the bigger guys and stronger guys. I don't see who on their team. I mean, Zaman's a big dude, but I mean, he likes to play tight end. I like the receiving core: Hassan, uh, Zaner, Ayan, Zohed. I like their skill guys. Their skill guys are arguably one of the best, but they might have the worst O line potentially. And I think that is gonna show. So yeah, originally I had them 4, but I moved them down to 5 after looking at this team just now again.
That's fair. The more you kind of think about it, the line really outside of Rosa Merchants does kind of struggle. I mean, I think I think Miz is underrated on the offensive line atmosphere. I think he will be able to kind of hold his own. The question is, are guys like Murtaza Amir, who's going to be on the line, and other Azafdan, they probably will have one of these other guys kind of play on the line too. Um, are they going to be enough to give ZM enough time to get it to any one of his multiple options? And they might give him the time that he needs. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Um, cool. Well, we'll see what happens with this team. The number team I have at number 2 is going to be Timeless Creations. That's going to be Akbar Rizvi's team. So this is going to be the team made up of Akbar Rizvi, Zan Joffrey, Shahrukh Naqvi, Mohsin Bangash, Murtaza Naqvi, Sean Kazmi, aka Shay, Rehan Ali Dina, Asad Kazmi, Ali Sheikh, Rehan Kazmi, Bobby, Ali Musavi, Shoja Bhayesh, Shoja Ehsan, Sajjad Naqvi, Jafar Rizvi, Jafar Hussain, and Imtiaz Gazmi. This team I have at 2, also because I think they also have like a pretty decent line between Monu, between him, Ali Sheikh, Asad Gazmi, and Akbar himself. I think they have like a pretty reasonable line. They have like 4 solid, big guys that they can use. They also have Ali John and Shojabai that can also play on the line as well. And I imagine Jafra might also be able to play on the line as well. So I think they have a few guys that can kind of rotate in there. Obviously, you have the ZJ Rook combo, which is a strong combo to have. And then of course you got Shea and Ali Dina, Rehan, all kind of there as well. So I think that they have a good combination. They have good support players. They have good IQ players. I think that's going to be what helps them. I again, the other question is really just going to be like, what's the chemistry going to look like on this team? Are they going to gel? Are they going to be able to kind of play to their role? And I think that might be what limits them. But what's your thought on them?
So this was a team I actually switched with Zoheb. I
Mm-hmm.
had them at 5, but I put them up to 4. I like so I think this team is gonna rely on their defense a lot. I mean, they have good defensive players. I feel like more so than offensive players. I mean, They have ZJ, obviously, who's a MVP, one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Sharok, obviously, he's always top athlete any sport he plays. And then from there, offensively, I mean, I don't know who else. I mean, Shea's not the best offensive guy. Molson Bungish not the best. These guys are defensive guys. They're one I would say very good on the defensive end. So I think they have a good defensive team. I think they're going to rely heavily on their defense.
Mhm.
Also, I mean, their O line is Akbar. Akbar will be there. MB will be there. Asaba is their third lineman. If he doesn't show up, then I mean they have Shaky, but I think their depth at the O line is thin. So I think if they're missing one or two linemen, they might have to. They're going to be short at line. So
Yeah,
I think this is really going to come down to ZJ and
attendant.
Sharrock's ability to carry this
Yeah,
team. Those two, can they do it? Probably. I mean, they're two of the top athletes in the league, regardless of the sport. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to the chemistry and figuring out what works best for this team.
100%. I mean, I think one thing that's pretty much a standard is that attendance and who's there and who's not there on a given week is always going to play a huge role, because historically it can vary significantly, and that can definitely affect the outcome of a game. Let's talk about the one last team. I have them at number one. They are Ash Research. This is Shubber Sayed's team. This is going to be the team that is made up of Shubber, Taha Rizvi, Ali Bungish, Yasser Rizvi, Irtizam Mumtaz, Sayed Zak, Taha Ali, Misam Zaidi, Usher Ali, um, Ken Ahmadi, Zohair Rizvi, HK, Taki Raza Khan, Shozab Gazim, making his debut,
Mm-hmm.
John Sheikh, Shabir Ali, and Vaji Jaffrey. So, I think that this team is very interesting. It's a very interesting team that was put together, It's an interesting combination of guys because, you have like, guys that are very benign, and then you have guys that are very loud. And when you put them together, I'm not sure exactly what's going to come of it. Taha obviously a guy who doesn't talk much. He lets his game speak for him. Ali Bangish kind of the same way, and then you kind of also on the other hand have like your Yasser, your Zach, your Misam, your Tahi. So your Ken. So I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting combination, but I feel like this is just the most complete team. They definitely have a strong line between Yasser, Zach, and Usher. I was going to say, I mean, they probably have the strongest offensive line, and maybe the strongest defensive line too between those three guys. Throwing Zuhair, throwing Tahi. I mean, I think it's just a strong combination of guys. I will say they have multiple QB options. You can have Taha primarily at QB. You have Ken at QB as needed. You have both running and passing options between Shabbar and Irtaza and Ali Bungish. There's like a lot of plays that they can do. I think, and of course you have a solid receiving core with HK and Shozab as there as well. So I will say I like the team. The risk that this team has is the implosion risk, similar to how Shazan's team has an implosion risk. And I think that could do it. But I think with having guys like Shabir, Taha, and Ali Bungish at the helm, I feel like they're going to be able to control the implosion. So that's kind of my thought on this team. What do you have for them?
I agree. I think this is probably the top or second most well-rounded team. I do think that their implosion could be an issue, but I don't think it's gonna be Taha Shab or Ali Bungish to hold it down and to keep everyone level-headed. It's gonna be Zohair Bhai. Zohair
Mm,
Bhai is usually that glue guy that keeps everyone level-headed and concentrated on the game. So the fact that I think they got him is very key to kind of just keep everyone set and just straight. I think that this team is either going to be one or two or number five. Nobody's going to be below Nucky's team. I'm sorry, Nucky, but no one is going to be below your team. But I think this is going to be another year where Taha has very good weapons. He has Shabber, Bungash, and there's a three really good receivers. And I think Taha has a better O line than last season. So I think I think offensively, this is going to be one of the better teams. And defensively, they're probably very good too. I think they have overall the best D line because Bungish is always one of the top rushers. Yasser might not get the most sacks, but he will make sure he gets pressure back there. And Zach is just an animal. When Zach is pissed off, he isn't very tough to try to block. So I think this is one of the top rounded teams, and I think this is either going to go one of the best teams or number five. No in between.
It's all very much dependent on how much they implode on each other. So we'll have to see what happens as the season starts. But I think that is a great overview of the draft. Heather, thank you so much for your input and insight. As always, excellent analysis on your part. I think that the season is going to be great. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm excited for the season to start, man. Like we're already what 4 weeks, a month out. I'm looking forward to it. Felt like football was such a long time ago, and I'm just a new season. I feel like a lot of new players gonna be exciting to see, what these new players got, and I think it's gonna be a good season. I'm looking forward to it. Excited. Finally, I'm finally getting to play with Shah. Me and Shah have been wanting to play together. Me and Farhan have been wanting to play together for seasons now, so it's gonna be a good season. Looking forward to it.
That's good. That's good. I can hear the excitement in your voice. I
Mm.
think it's going to be a great season. Let's see what happens come September. Until then, folks, this has been another episode of the Cutting Redge. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time on the Cutting Redge.